What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Experience More podcast. As always, pumped and excited to have each and every one of you guys coming and joining back here for this week's episode. This is going to be a solo cast for those of you guys, of course, who have been here and followed along. Appreciate each and every one of you guys who've gone out and shared the show last week, who've tagged me in the show. It truly does mean a lot as things are just continuing to move forward. As we start looking at bringing some different guests in, and unfortunately have done a couple recordings and have had some issues with technology. But here nor there, we will prevail and get things rolling forward. For those of you guys who have not been here before, welcome to the Experience More podcast that is about going out, living a lifestyle allows you to experience more of the great outdoors and this life we all get to live. And experiencing it with those we love to experience it with. Big believer in being able to share stories. It is a big part of this podcast, is to be able to tell other people's stories, individuals maybe from great following backgrounds and great experience to individuals who have been on the journey themselves and ultimately found success, whether that is in the outdoor space, through their fitness journey, through their faith, through their family, multitudes of different things. And as always, too, if you are newer here, if you hear any background noise, I am a dad, I'm a husband, and I record this literally right below where my wife and daughter sleep, or our master bedroom. And you might hear some chaos going on upstairs, or I might have to be talking a little bit quieter because I might be recording while they are asleep as well. So just things that come with life. But this episode, I'm really just going to dedicate towards kind of my journey, as of recent. And I think I owe it to all of you guys and really everyone out there. I just try and be as transparent as possible and a lot of different things and just my journey overall through life, right? I know last episode went through and, I really hit on the head or tried to drive it home. Like, I'm no different than you guys, struggle with different things. But I really I just feel like I've been in this kind of base of, trying to give some clarity of, you might be stuck, right? You might have goals, dreams, aspirations. The biggest thing is just go for it. Just do it. You're not going to have anyone like the individuals you believe should believe in you. Like, they'll believe in you when you actually start making traction and going with it and just doing the things you say you want to do. But as you continue to move forward, this episode is really, I'm going to kind of tone it as, hey, keeping up with the Joneses, right? You can get into a spot where you are trying, like you are moving forward. I'm going to back up a sec, and we're just going to dive into this. So welcome anyone new. If you're new here, welcome to the show. If you are you're old, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And you guys know, if you've been here before, I don't script this or anything. I go off the cuff. What's on my heart, what's on my mind, and then really same thing with guests and then gear pieces, all those things. But this one's keeping up with the Joneses, right? As you continue to move forward, right, you're going to find yourself in this spot where you feel like you're not doing well enough or you need to do better. And really, I'm going to encourage all of you guys to take note in what you have and appreciate the things you do have where you are at. Because I can promise you, from surrounding myself by individuals who are very, very successful, they are no different than you or I. And money is not going to make things magically better for you. As you progress through your life, like, you will gain more stresses. Like, you will gain more adversity that you will face. There is no magic finish line. So just buckle up and do what you love to do and let your passions guide you and just enjoy where you're at. I've had to reflect on that since having my daughter. And, everyone says having kids will go through and change your life, and no one really truly understands that or knows what that is until you go through it. But for me, it was something that gave a great sense of clarity and just cleared a lot of the bullshit that I thought was important from my life, and ultimately made me very much more effective, right? Still getting better at it, but not letting people rob me of my time, and being able to be as present as possible for her and Tina, my wife. And really just gave a clear focus of like, I just want them to have a better life. And my job as the man of the household is to take care of them, is to provide for them. And none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. But as you continue, and why I say keep up with the Joneses is if you are progressing, and I'll look at this as, when I got out of high school, started right into the guiding side of things, went out, did that, progressed forward. Like, it was hard. There was a point in my life at that moment that I didn't know what was on the other side of the door that I was going to open. And I've used this analogy in the past when working with different individuals, is life is a lot like a dark hallway that the light switch to turn it on, like to see down the hallway, is on the other end of the hallway. So you have to navigate this dark hallway with no lights at all and just go off of faith. And you will go down that hallway. You are going to get bumped and bruised. You are going to trip and probably fall. The whole thing is get up and keep moving and put your hands on the wall until you feel a light switch to turn it on. Eventually, you'll get to a point to where you can look behind you and you've hit the light switches throughout every single hallway of your life. Every new door you have opened, you're opening a new dark hallway. Ultimately, when you get to the next door, you're flipping on the lights and you can look back behind you. And what's happening is you are turning the lights on. You are guiding the path for other individuals following you. All right. I encourage you to open those doors and go down them. And there's going to be times where you're going to open that door, you're going to go in that hallway, and you're not going to like what you ultimately find. You're going to have to backtrack maybe a little bit, go down another hallway, open another door. That is just life. There are going to be numerous doors that you are going to be able to open throughout life. And you might just hit a dead end sometimes. It might just be a flat brick fucking wall. And you hit it and you think it's a door. You try to go through it and you hit it harder and like you just can't get through, right? Sometimes you just got to turn around, walk back to the next hallway, open the next door, and keep moving forward, right? Open those doors, turn those light switches on, because now you can see everything that you have gained behind you. You're able to look back at your past and reflect on the things that you have achieved, reflect back on the experiences you have had, the relationships you have built, and take note and take inventory of all of those things, because ultimately that is the greatest part of life, is the discovery that there is always more opportunities. There are always more experiences. And what I believe most people that feel like they are stuck, right? Or they just don't have, like, they don't know where this desire is, or they just kind of get lost with themselves, as they stop that discovery. They either hit a wall, they stay in a dark hallway, and they just live there, right? Or they don't go try something new. They don't progress to do something hard, right? And a dark hallway might be going down a fitness journey. It might be signing up for that 5K. It might be that half marathon. It might be that next hard thing, which I encourage everyone to go out at least on a yearly basis, is do something physically hard. Sign up for something that challenges you. Maybe that is a 5K. Maybe that is an ultra run. Maybe that is a Tough Mudder. Maybe that is a bodybuilding show. Maybe it's a CrossFit competition. Maybe it's a High Rocks. Maybe it's tactical games, whatever. There are so many things, right? Maybe it's going on that first elk hunt, right? Maybe it's just going out, putting your name in the lottery and the ticket, like just to draw the tag, buy the tag. You don't know until you go. That unknown is what stops more people than anything else. You never know until you go. And yes, it is not going to be perfect, but that is okay. As you go on that journey, right, you are going to go down those hallways and you're going to surround yourself by other individuals who love to do the things that you ultimately love to do. And this is where I say keeping up with the Joneses, is you will feel like you have to keep up with everyone else who has already gone down this hallway with you or before you, right? You're going in and you're going to think you need the best vehicles. You think you're going to need that new vehicle every single year. You think you're going to need that next vacation or that next cool doodad or those pieces of clothing or whatever it is, right? The next best bow, next best gun, and all these other things, right? Whatever those things are to you, and that keeping up with the Joneses piece of it can very much put you in a place where you're stuck. And I will tell you wholeheartedly, one of the most crushing things an individual can have on them in their own personal journey and their own moral, right? Morale, not moral, but morale to keep driving forward and just crush them and crush relationships is to have financial burdens above them that are outside of their means. And usually that happens from one, not paying attention to your financial well-being, right? Treating it's literally a great individual to follow on this. And ultimately, I would look for insight on would be Clint Kingston. And I've had him on here before. He is very good with his financial planning. He is very good with his nutrition and his fitness. And I would say out of all the friends that I have, probably one of the most disciplined, meticulous individuals that I personally know when it comes down to literally laying out his regiment in fitness, diet, nutrition, and following it straight to a T. And he can literally bring everything down to the minute details, working towards the results he's ultimately getting. And it's very, there is no difference in your financial growth and success and the compounding interest that you ultimately are able to build. There's no difference in that than there is in your nutrition, your fitness journey. It is consistently doing the things you need to do and saying no to the things you don't need, right? Saying no to that cookie, saying no to that different meal, the food, the drinks, all that stuff. Like the ability to say no is probably one of the most powerful things I have come to learn throughout my life, is just saying no. Because when you say no to certain things, you're saying yes to other things. And at the end of the day, the goals you have, right, and being disciplined and consistent is saying no to the things you want right now, so you are able to say yes to the things you ultimately want, to saying yes to the individual you want to be. It's a hard thing. It really is. When you have individuals who are out there crushing it, they're going out, they have the newest gear, they have the newest whatever it is, right? You can put it all out there, right? And so many people just look at that and they're like, oh, I'll just put it on a credit card payback. I'll just do this, I'll pay back. I'll do this, I can make that work. I can make that work. It's not that big of a payment. Tell you what, credit card payments, credit card debt will go through and crush individuals. Personally, I know this because in the last year, it's one of my goals of 2026. It was one of my goals of 2026 personally to be credit card debt free. And I'd let it go. I'll be completely honest with you guys, throughout the last couple of years, from building things out in the First Form Outdoors side of things, from going to numerous different events, to trying to just be the guy that was there for other individuals, and ultimately just trying to figure it out and fix it within my family and our financial spot we were in. I put us in a hole. And it was a mixture between my wife and I, and it was a lack of communication that we ultimately had. And that was, 2025. It wasn't awesome, right? We had Aurora, she's 2.5 now. And really, I would say it was after having Aurora, kids are not cheap, and I want to give her the best life physically possible. And we had that. We had the tornado hit. We had a bunch of different little things ultimately happen that just racked up bill after bill after bill. And it just became more and more and more heavy. And I can personally say through 2025, I didn't dig deep enough into it. And I just kept my head down and was like, it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. Until you actually lay it out and write it down and make a plan to attack it, it's not going to just work itself out. It won't just work itself out. Just like that diet plan, I'm just going to get started on Monday. This snack here doesn't really matter. It's just a couple of calories. It's just a couple of dollars. Right? You do that over and over and over again after 6 weeks, 6 months, a year. And then you wonder 6 months later, a year later, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, how did I get here? Right? A year later, 2 years later, you look at your financial spot where you're at, you're making a good income or you're pulling funds in and you're like, I'm completely broke in the sense, or really living paycheck to paycheck. So 2026 was, sat down, wrote out some goals, wrote out some 30-day goals, some 60-day goals, and then wrote out really 90-day goals and year-long goals. And that was the main one within that. I have of course, my fitness one. I have personal ones within my family. And then really financially, the goal, right, with 30, 60, 90 was laying down a plan to be financially stable, right? Completely credit card debt free. Still have student loans, all that different stuff. My wife and I both have those. Unfortunately, that's just something that we both had gotten into when we were going to school. And it's just something that we are still working on in that. But credit cards are crushing. And the last thing you need to be doing is paying interest on that. And a lot of that was due to trying to keep up with the Joneses and make sure our daughter had the nicest, the best things, the different experiences, all the stuff. But it was a lot of things that, really could have been done here and there, but it was the lack of communication with my wife. It was the lack of urgency on my side. And I will tell you from personally laying it all out there and having more of those hard conversations with my wife, because it's a swat to the ego and ultimately have to just swallow some of that pride. We should be really, what are we, a quarter into the year. We just went through, we did some stuff with the house. And really, because we had flipped, like we didn't flip this house, but we bought it as a foreclosure. I was able to look at all the financial things that we ultimately had going on. And we should, in the next few weeks here, be completely credit card debt free, which is a huge, huge, huge load off of my shoulders. But just like fitness, right? You see that, you're like, okay, I did that. Cool. We're working there. Well, then we get that. That'll be paid off. Then we can go through. We still have the financial piece here. We can keep putting money away. I can make sure I'm contributing to my Roth. I can make sure that I'm still doing things with my 401k. I can make sure 100% that we're going to be getting our daughter Aurora set up with her own financial investment platform as well. And that's something for me and Tina, we both want to make sure that Aurora is set up going forward and she has the best opportunities physically possible. And just you look more and more at these things, the sooner we can ultimately maybe sacrifice a little bit on our side. It just sets her up for even that much more of success in the future. So looking at what we can do there, and then we can pay off Tina's car right off the bat, pay off my truck. And then now we have more income to be able to go do the things we love to do. And this could be even elk hunting trips. I was going through, and there's times where it's I've had to last year ultimately put different trips that I really wanted to, and I could have gone through and taken, but it would have done more of a hit. That was me trying to, quote unquote, keep up with the Joneses, because it's not cheap to travel to another state. It's not cheap to buy those tags. And for me, I had to be nope, okay, I am prioritizing what is most important right in front of me. And having to say no to some of my best friends, say no to some of the best individuals that I know, right? And it's a swat to the ego. It's hey, I'm not going to be able to do that hunt. Hey, I'm not going to be able to come out, travel out there and do that because I have this going on, right? And it's even within work, right? This last couple years, I've gone through and said no to more events just to make sure that I'm more present and around with my family, right? With my wife, with my daughter. And, it takes a lot of stress off of my shoulders, for a long time. And there's times where you have to go and make those things happen and continue to just dig in, put the head down and work. But you do need to make sure, and I'm speaking to all the younger guys out there, individuals, the fathers, the second you can go through and just drop your ego, swallow a little bit of your pride, have some of those conversations with your significant other, and really just start looking at okay, hey, what does the future look like? What do we want it to look like? Better yet, what do you want it to look like, right? And having that discussion and, being honest and real and being the man of the household of just kind of laying down, okay, what do we need to go through and do here, and working together as a team, not just saying, hey, you need to do this. This is what you need to do, but how do we work as a team to make this happen? It's a really good feeling. I'm not going to lie. You go through, yes, it's hard in the moment. It's not easy. You got to swallow that pride, put that freaking ego to the side, and just look at the bigger picture of where you're at. Because those friends that, you might be missing out on going on a hunt with, right? Those different events that you're looking at going to, those trips you're looking at traveling to, that gear you want to have or you need to have, right? You don't need to have any of it. Always be the contributor in the fact, like, you can go through, you don't need $1,000 bow to go shoot a whitetail or an elk. You can go get a ready to shoot bow straight from Cabela's with a sight and rest and everything on it for a few $100, and you're ready to rock, right? It's very, very easy to get sucked into that keeping up with the Joneses mentality as you are on your journey of progressing further, because you think that's the exact thing you need to get you to that next point, right? When the reality is just keep doing what you're passionate about, stay consistent, just like a fitness plan, show up on a day-to-day basis, chipping away, working towards what it is you wish to build. No different than me, just even with this podcast, right? It's 11 o'clock right now. My wife and daughter are getting ready to go to bed. And I could be like, oh, I'm going to bed. No, I told myself I was going to be recording a podcast every single week. I was going to be making sure that there's one every single Monday going out there. And it's keeping those simple little promises you made to yourself to keep you moving forward. For me, it might be a podcast. It might be my fitness journey. It might be working towards the financial freedom. It might be that next elk hunt or that whitetail trip or whatever other journey or adventure I'm ultimately going on. But it's what am I working on right in front of me right now to get me to where I ultimately want to be? What am I saying no to right now, right? The wants that I want right now, what am I saying no to? Because that is going to allow me to say yes to the things that I really want to be able to experience, really want to be able to enjoy and ultimately share with others. So I encourage you guys, as you're going through this, right? Understand that no one's going to give you the permission to go do the things you love to do or go do the things you want to do, right? And as you go on that journey, it is going to be dark. It is going to be lonely. You are going to have moments of struggle and doubt throughout the entire piece, right? But the more you travel down that dark hallway, the more often you'll be able to light flip that light switch on in your life, and you're lighting the direction for everyone else following you. That includes your family, your loved ones, your immediate surrounding, right? And ultimately you helping guide that path is going to help create a ripple effect to where now it's helping them and it's helping their ecosystem and it's helping their community and ultimately creates a bigger impact overall. So as you work towards that, you will find those moments where, yeah, you might go through and succumb to the keeping up with the Joneses side of it. But just be aware of where you're at and ask yourself, is it something I need? Like, really, do I need it, right? Or do I just want it, right? And ultimately, if you can say no to those moments of needs, right, that want you will come to fruition as time goes on. The more you can work towards that, the more you can be real with yourself in the moment, the more opportunities and experiences you'll be able to experience going forward with a lot less headache, a lot less weight on your shoulders, and just be freaking free to go do those different things, and just have fun with it. So that's really what I have for you guys this week. It's honestly, it's kind of a, little podcast, like speaking to myself here and just like realizing like, all right, fuck, we're doing it, right? Like getting out of this hole that ultimately had gotten into is going to be great, but we've got to look at what all had gotten us there, making sure we're not going back into the same hole we ultimately got in before. So, and just like, what is the next step? What is the next, like, all right, we ran the 5K, we did the half marathon, we got the marathon done. What's the next, right? What are we signing up for? What are we doing? Where's the next finish line we're looking at going to achieve? Because it's not just a finish line. It's just the next opportunity and the next experience to have. So, but I appreciate you guys. I love the support. Thank you for all of you who have followed along. Thank you for those you guys who've gone through and left a review on the podcast. It does mean a lot. I love seeing those. I know I've shared that a couple times on social. And really, if you guys, you go through and you do share it on social, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, anything like that, or you leave a comment, love on the YouTube side, go through, leave message. If you have different questions throughout the process, or things that you're wondering, go through and drop them into the YouTube question or the comments in there, because I go back, read, and interact with all of those individually. And then, of course, the reviews and everything via Spotify or Apple Podcast, any of those kind of platforms that are out there. So I appreciate you guys following along. And yeah, if there's anything I can ever do, or things, we ultimately hit on, I thought this would just be a good little episode to understand that you're not alone. You might be. I firmly believe that there are a lot of people out there who struggle with credit card debt, struggle with the mindset of, keeping up with the Joneses and not feeling like they're far enough along the line. And the reality is you just got to keep moving forward. And sometimes moving forward is just one step forward. It might be 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. But no matter what, you're still turning the lights on in your life. So I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Make it a great freaking week, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you later.